How fun was it to dress up as a quote unquote fat Dusty Rhodes with a bucket of chicken here in Huntsville?
Your hometown. I can remember the spot. And when I went back and did episode 1 of TNA, the very first pay-per-view, I took a couple of people and said, this is where I stood and learned my Dusty Rhodes impersonation. Ed Ferrara took me aside because when I got to TV, they told me a couple of days before, you're going to do this. And I said, I don't do a Dusty impersonation. I just don't. I don't want to do it. No, you can do it. You can do it. They said, look, even if you screw up, I'm like, I can't. Too many people do too good a Dusty Rhodes impersonations. It's going to be bad TV. No. I said, I'm just telling you guys. It's not saying I don't want to do it. It's going to be bad TV. No, and Ed goes, you let me work with you? He said, I'll teach you how to enunciate a Dusty Rhodes promo. And I go, okay. Interesting. He says, yes, I will phonetically spell out these words for you and we'll go over it. And he said, Jeff, you got a great memory. The promo will be easy for you. You'll get into the character. I know you can do the walk. I'll teach you how to say these words. I wish I would have recorded it. So I said, okay, Ed. So we got out back and Ed did it for me and he did it again and he did it again. And then phonetically, if you will, I mean, he literally phonetically tied together the promo and we started doing it. And I knew sort of the light bulb went off and he said, all right, let's just give it a dry run. And I wish I had that sheet, that script, but I said, all right, let's go. And I just sort of in my mind, 3, 2, and I started that promo and I got 2 lines through it. And when I saw Ed start laughing and not laughing at me, but laughing with me, I like, okay, I can do this.
And of course, we're building towards a kiss my ass match.
You didn't like the Dusty Rhodes impersonation with the bucket of chicken?
No, it's fun. It's just weird when you think about it in context. Here's Ric Flair in a fucking Hawaiian shirt.
Yes.
Here you are in a fat man suit with a bucket of chicken doing a Dusty Rhodes promo. And believe it or not, this is how we're building to the only ever Ric Flair Dusty Rhodes pay-per-view match. Sure, you could have seen them on closed circuit back in the day, but pay-per-view didn't exist. So you were in the middle of the only Ric Flair Dusty Rhodes pay-per-view match. How crazy is that?
I didn't know that to this day. That's the only pay-per-view match?
The only one they ever had.
Well, that's a whole nother episode in and of itself.
Let's talk about the silliness, and then we'll get into the day, right? Gainesville, Florida, the main event promo on the second to last Nitro. It's old Silver Dollar, a donkey. He's supposedly eating 300 burritos today, and it says Dusty's ass.
Where are you reading this?
And no, you remember you were there.
Oh gosh.
And you and Rick get your faces pushed into its ass. I guess I buried the lead here. Dusty Rhodes rubs his ass in your face. That's got to be on the career highlight reel, right?
Wait, was that on the build-up or at the pay-per-view?
That's the pay-per-view. When you lost, he had those red underwear. You remember.
So I joined the Dusty Rhodes Kiss My Ass Club, and not the Vince McMahon one. So there you go.
You got it.
That's a feather in my cap.
The main event of the final episode of Thunder, you're teaming with Scott Steiner to take on Dustin Rhodes. The episode was taped on March 19th in Gainesville, Florida. It's going to air on March 21st. And then just 2 days later, March 23rd, it's announced that World Championship Wrestling has been sold to the World Wrestling Federation. When and how did you hear the news? Because, I assume, hey man, I'm working some pay-per-view main events. We have cut back on house shows, but I'm working main events, and then I'm working with DDP, who I think is the new boss's buddy. And oh, by the way, I'm coming off of working with Ric Flair and Dusty Rhodes on pay-per-view, even if it was a silly gimmick match based on, their abilities at the time. I mean, they're older fellows, but they got the biggest pops of the night. So I'm working with over guys. I got good programs. I'm near the top of the card, and now it's over. How'd you hear that news?
So did Gainesville, knew something was up, flew home on a Tuesday, talked to the office. That was that spring break. And if you remember the Nitros the prior years, it's a big deal, like a tentpole event for Nitro. And I can remember the office saying, hey, can you come early? When's this? When's that? Well, when do you need me? Well, we're not really sure when we need you. And I'm like, well, okay. Is it Thursday? Is it Friday? Well, we know Friday you got an appearance, but we think maybe Thursday. We're not sure who's going to show up. And again, during this time, I, maybe rightly or wrongly, or maybe this is just through my eyes, I was somewhat viewed from the office perspective. Jeff will do it. Jeff doesn't mind. He'll show up. He'll do it. Also creatively, we need a good match. Put Jeff in there. We need this. He won't say no to this. Oh, wait, we're going to do a crossover segment, Thunder. Do Jeff. He'll hit his timing mark. I'll say, and I pride myself on that to this day, dependable. If you can't depend on somebody, it doesn't care. It's really irrelevant. Going back to the Bronco Lubitsch conversation, if you're not dependable, it's everything else goes out the window. So I say that I said, don't worry. I'll get on a flight Wednesday afternoon. And I flew into Destin because all the flights were sold out, spring break, that time of year, all that. Got in the rental car and drove over to Panama City, checked in. And so Thursday, you just hearing different things, but nobody could really say exactly what was going to happen. But I knew that's when some contracts really started boiling up. Not really with me, but with other guys like, okay, this thing's really selling. How are they going to basically, who's the crew and who's not going to be the crew and what's the middle? And, I knew my contract and who it was with and my attorney and, okay, what's going to happen? You just think about your payday this week. But I did not know when I boarded the plane. To my best recollection, I'm positive I did. I didn't know that Vince had bought it when I left Nashville on that Wednesday, got down there and connecting with people on Thursday and the appearances and that kind of stuff.
So let's talk about that. You said connecting with people. There's been lots of names thrown around, people who showed up to this last Nitro, including your old pal Road Dogg. He's no longer with the WWF. He's backstage at this last Nitro. I know y'all were thick as thieves once upon a time. Were you still friendly with Brian in this era?
Nitro, he found out, and that was in our BS days before sobriety days. He came over on the Saturday to hang out at Club La Vila.
Yeah.
Ever been there, Conrad?
I have. Yes, sir. It's the first time I ever saw cocaine in real life. I thought it was something that was just in the movies. And someone tried to sell me cocaine, and I'm fat. My heart's going fast enough, so I didn't need that. I took a pass. But I'm a kid from Gunnersville, Alabama. I thought that was something in the movies. I didn't know that was real life. And that was my last trip to Club La Vila. I was a square. I had to get out of there.
There you go. Smart man. Raised well. Thanks, Deb. So anyway, Brian came over to visit me and we chatted, but not a lot about the business. Like, what the hell's going on? I'm like, dude, I have no idea, like, really what's going on. But he wasn't working for them at the time. And so we just didn't know. He came over. It's good to see him. Now, me and Brian have never, I think your question was, we all friends? What was your question?
Yeah, we are friendly at the time, but the answer is yes.
We've never not been friendly.
Okay.